Kareem Hunt. Now, this thing I think has gone full circle over the course of a weekend. I think it's now over,
Right.
but let's summarize what happened. Kareem Hunt's wanted a new contract for a while. I remember when he signed his current deal a couple of years ago, I thought this is really team friendly. And now he's finally realized this is really team friendly. Wants a new deal, hasn't gotten a new deal. All of a sudden decided he was going to do a partial hold-in where he wasn't going to participate in team drills, but would participate in individual drills, wants a contract, wants to be traded. Browns said, no new contract, we're not going to trade you. Reportedly, the Browns were fining him for not participating in the team drills. And then on Sunday, he backed off. Like, this isn't working. I'm just going to go back to being, the message sent to the rest of the league if anyone wants to trade for me, but they say they're not going to trade me. So, and before we hear from Kevin Stefanski on that, I'm always a believer in a guy trying to get more.
Right.
But you better be confident that it's going to work. You can't just be a guy that isn't one of the members of the nucleus of the team that takes a stand and they just smack you down and they don't care. I mean, you have to at least be in a position where you've got enough skill and you've got enough equity with the team that when you try to get more, there's a pretty good chance it's going to work. And I think right now Kareem Hunt at best is on the bubble of being a guy, that could get the team's attention, and he clearly didn't.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to say it. He's a really good player. He's talented. There's no question. But I mean, it's obvious he's not the best running back on his football team. He's not the bell cow guy. He's not the most explosive as compared to Nick Chubb. And I think you're saying that right. There's not a lot of ground to stand on here to where it's going to make the team go, oh, no. Like, wow, wait. We're not going to be able to live without you not practicing or being a part of our football team. He is an important part of the football team, no doubt, but he's not one of those crown jewel guys, Myles Garrett, some of the other guys on the football team where they go, whoa, wait, we're not going to be the same team without you. Now, they're not going to trade him. The run game's important, right? I mean, they're a team that's built around the run. Their offensive line, they're going to try to keep a little wear and tear off of Nick Chubb, so he does have that value there. But they also have some other running backs behind him. And I think the most important thing to me, Mike, is how quickly we forget. Cleveland is a team, that took a chance on Kareem Hunt when things were not so great. And I bet you there was a time before he got this 2-year, $12 million contract where he was going, oh, man, I hope I didn't blow it and don't have a chance, hope I get another chance to maybe make a little money. And Cleveland's the team that reached out, signed him, brought him back home to Ohio, and then, of course, gave him, some change here. And it's pretty good change for a backup running back. Again, for a market where we're seeing running backs not get paid a lot, this is a guy that's a backup and, hey, still making $6 million a year. So, yeah, I don't imagine anything happening here unless they get just blown away by some trade offer by some other football team. But I think that's highly unlikely at this point.
We'll talk about the number that you said of $6 million a year in a second, but let's be clear on this.
Yeah.
The Browns didn't suddenly decide to play the role of Father Flanagan. They saw a guy who was the NFL's leading rusher as a rookie, who washed out of Kansas City after he was caught on video shoving and kicking a woman. He lied to the Chiefs about it. The video showed that he wasn't telling the truth. The Chiefs cut him. It was right around Thanksgiving-ish, a week or so after Thanksgiving in 2018, excuse me. Then he got suspended 8 games, and he and Nick Chubb became the most dangerous combination of running backs in the NFL. Now, last year, Kareem Hunt missed some games due to injury. Some think Dearness Johnson have leapfrogged him. Now, I looked at the team's website. They have yet to release the non-binding, officially unofficial depth chart. All teams usually put one out before their first preseason game. I think they're required to. But I suspect he's still number 2.
Yeah.
Johnson did a lot last year when both Chubb and Hunt were out. Remember that Thursday night game where he tore up the Broncos? But we're not talking about a guy where they just threw him a lifeline out of the goodness of their heart.
No, I get you.
And Chris, here's the thing about the contract. He has a salary of $1.35 million. He's got $200,000 of his roster bonus tied to actually being available to play. He's got $3.4 million this year tied up in being in the 46-man game day lineup. And if he's not, every game, 200,000's gone. 200,000's gone. I wonder if they could placate him just by saying, we're going to give you that full 3.4 and not make you be healthy enough, because you're playing a position, car crash. You're not going to be able to play. You know, last year I had per game roster bonuses of $135,000 a game. And how many games did he miss?
8.
He missed like 9 games.
Yeah, 8 or 9. You're right, 9.
He either missed 8 or 9.
Right.
One or the other. With 17, it gets screwy.
Right.
But, yeah, that money's gone forever. There it is. Played 8 games last year, so he missed 9 of those checks. That money's gone, and it's never coming back, and I have a feeling that may be sticking in his craw a little bit.
Well, I think so, and I think maybe that's a little remedy to the situation. We've seen that done before for really good football players. But, again, I don't know if I've seen it done a whole lot for the guy that, you're right, is – you know, we just explained it. He's the backup, but it's not by, like, a lot. There's some other good players there. I do think he is the guy. He's very talented. He's worthy of being a number 1 running back. I get that, too. But, you know, it seems weirder now because they took the chance on Deshaun Watson, but that was controversial at the time when they did that. And I think that's why he signed that type of contract, because, again, there wasn't a lot of teams reaching out to Kareem Hunt going, hey, we want you and the video that you had, bring that to town because that's good for business for us. So, you know, that's where, you know, again, I'm like you. I'm always for the player getting money. I am. I just have a hard time, you know, on this one thinking he's got a real side to bargain with here, and he might just have to, hey, maybe do what you said. Maybe their agent can get something done, some sort of middle ground, or, hey, just buy your time and do your best to stay healthy this year and be part of that running back crew. And next year, hopefully you can see a pretty good payday with another football team that maybe wants to make you a starting running back.
And that's not going to be the easiest thing to do either. He is 27.
Yeah, he's getting up there, right.
As of this weekend, and that's getting on the older side for running backs, because you have that constant every year, new arrivals from college, full tread on the tires, cheaper. They're under that rookie wage scale. You get them in the mid to late rounds. You're not paying much. You throw the guy out into the fray, and it's cheaper, far cheaper than what Kareem Hunt would want when he's on the open market.
Let me ask. I was just going to say one more thing too. I mean, you know, with like what you were saying, I know it's a car crash position, and we worry about that, and I understand that. But at the same time, you know, don't you feel like there's less solid ground to stand on, you know, and saying, hey, I want to be the guy, when they're going to go, well, wait, you missed 8 games the first year you were here, you played 1 full season, and you missed 9 games last year. Right? And why would we pay you more money when you haven't proven that you can even, like, handle the workload of being the backup guy yet? So that's where I feel like it's a little off, even though, again, it's the brutal thing about the running back, and I understand that. I don't want to sound insensitive, but I'm just trying to explain maybe Cleveland's view of it in a business, you know, standpoint that way.
Well, and I'm sure that it has been an issue for Kareem Hunt ever since Nick Chubb signed the 3-year, $36 million extension in 21. You hear about it from family members. You hear about it from friends.
That's right.
You're just as good as him. You're just as good as him. He's getting that much. He's getting 12 a year, and you're getting 6. But you got to work for like most of it. You can't even be injured at the position that causes the most injuries in all of football, and you lost $135,000 a game. Like, you know, that there's just a. You get a lot of pressure. I think in a situation like that, you get a lot of pressure from people around you, and that manifests itself. And he tried. Right. He tried.
Right.
Stayed out of team drills for a couple of days, realized that wasn't going to work. Here's Kevin Stefanski talking about the situation yesterday, specifically whether or not Kareem Hunt has bought in with the 2022 Browns.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far, Scott. I'll just tell you we got some work to do, and that's what we'll focus on. We're working. No distraction. This is normal. This is normal, guys. This is NFL football.
It is?
As far as I know.
He was asked whether he wishes he had a normal training camp. That was his response. This is normal. Is it with Deshaun Watson? Especially with Deshaun Watson. Now, it should be normal because they did this. This isn't a surprise. So it's normal from the perspective of what they were signing up for when they traded for him. But I'm sure he hopes that this version of normal doesn't become the norm. And now and that's the thing. Kareem Hunt picked a hell of a time to take a stand.
No doubt.
They're already freaked out about the whole Deshaun Watson thing. Now Kareem Hunt, a guy who's number 2 at best on the depth chart, says, hey, I want more money or I'm not going to practice in the team drills. Yeah, you just tell that guy, sit down and shut up. We got bigger fish to fry right now.
Yeah, yes. I mean, you don't want to maybe be that blunt, but it is normal other than the Deshaun Watson thing. Like, I mean, again, well, no, I know that's a big thing. And again, I don't believe, and from what I know, I don't think Kevin Stefanski was the guy that was out there going, hey, let's get Deshaun Watson team. Let's get Deshaun Watson team. That's why I think before the break, we had a few conversations where I went, hey, I kind of feel bad for the guy. He's been put in a very tough spot here. All right. But I think what he's saying is distractions, contracts, dealing with 90 football players and having to deal with some, hurt egos and some issues that way. That is normal business in the NFL. It is. Now, yes, he's been throwing the ultimate, curveball there with Deshaun Watson. And I also wonder sometimes with the Watson thing's a huge issue, Mike, like you're talking about. But then even with a guy like Kareem Hunt maybe wanting more money, the Deshaun Watson contract and that situation, I'm sure doesn't help out things either. So there's a lot of things in play there, but I'm glad to see that they got that figured out. They need their stable of running backs this year more than ever. I don't think you or I are expecting Deshaun Watson back anytime before week 10 at the very best. So that's where I look at it and go, hey, Jacoby Brissett, they're going to try to play a ball control. Hopefully their defense could be really damn good. And Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and a few passes here and there. And I would imagine that's the kind of style of football they want to play. So that's where he does have value to the team. And maybe we'll get some good touches this year to kind of show everybody, hey, like I am top 10-ish, top 12-ish as far as a running back goes in the NFL. Because, again, we saw that type of talent when he was the guy in Kansas City. There's no question about that.
It seems like more and more teams are adopting Mike Tomlin's "we want volunteers, not hostages," but the Browns are not one of them, at least as it relates to Kareem Hunt. You're not getting out. You're not getting a trade. You're not getting a new contract, at least not this way. Maybe that was the message that got him to practice. This isn't the way to do it. Not now. We want to talk about this. Let's talk about it. But staging a partial hold-in out of the blue 2 weeks into training camp, that is not the way to get the contract that you want.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.